Dar MMA back with another video, up to 29 subscribers. Thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, comment. Today we're going to be going over my divisional GOATs and who has the best chance to pass them at every division currently. So honestly, there's going to be some guys who are like not have no chance, but this is like who has the best chance, you know. Starting off, my flyweight GOAT, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Pretty like tame pick. You can't really argue with that. I think his title defense number of 11 is a little inflated, obviously, but you can't really argue that he's the GOAT. No one else has been like a super long reigning flyweight champion besides the guy I put after Demetrius on who can be GOAT, and that is Alexandre Pantoja. I think out of everyone in the division, it's obvious he has the best chance to be the GOAT. Honestly, if he defended the belt 2 or 3 more times, just based off of resume, he's cleared out the entire top 10. He's beat so many names. Like, they're struggling to find people. And a lot of people base their GOAT of divisions solely off title defenses, which I really disagree with. I think it should be based off of quality of wins, not quantity of wins. Like, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson's title reign was kind of filled with some cans, you know? I love how I have to call him Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. I can't just say Mighty Mouse or Demetrius Johnson. But yeah, like, I think it was filled with some cans. Like, there was Ray Borg, there was like 2 or 3 good guys, and then the rest were kind of just guys who are not really that high ranked. Like, he beat Tim Elliott and stuff. I don't know. I think his title defenses are a little inflated, which I think most people would agree with. But I think Pantoja, with 2 or 3 more defenses, there's like a definitive argument that he deserves to be above Demetrius Johnson all time. In flyweight, yeah, like flyweight wise. Moving on to bantamweight. My bantamweight GOAT, this is gonna get a lot of people mad. I got Merab. Merab has a lot of high level wins. Like, the reason that Merab doesn't have as many title defenses as some of these guys is because he was kind of being ducked by O'Malley, because O'Malley took the Cheeto fight, even though Merab deserved the title fight, and he was waiting because Aljo was champion. But the guys beat, let's go through his names. Aldo, who people glazed to shreds. Who else? Peter Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, Sean O'Malley. I'm definitely forgetting some, but like those 4 alone, that's great. That's very crazy wins. And I won't forget, people like Merab now. People are glazing him. Oh, he's champion. I remember after the Aldo fight, everyone was like, bro, Merab's fight style sucks. He just holds people to the fence. It's like the flirting harassment meme with Merab versus Magomed Ankalaev. Like, bro, he fights the same way. He did the same shit to O'Malley, except he took him down a few times. Like, honestly, think about it. And he does funny taunts and has very unfunny skits on his YouTube. Like, but the guy I think has the most potential to pass Merab is the guy you just beat. I got Umar Nurmagomedov. I think, look, Umar lost. He's 18-1, still super young. Now that he's in the top of the bantamweight division, it's not as easy for these top guys to duck him. Already has the Corey Sandhagen win under his belt. That's a great win, great start to his resume. He's like 28, 27 years old. I think he still has like 5-6 years left of his prime. I think the guy's gonna be. Umar Nurmagomedov will be bantamweight champion for sure before the end of his career, and I think he will defend it. I think the only guy in bantamweight who can beat Umar is Merab, and I think Umar can beat Merab in a rematch. I mean, Umar came in with a broken hand. It was kind of a short notice, like, take the fight with an injury type fight, because he thought he was that much better, and Merab kind of. I wouldn't say it was a fraud check. Merab beat him by 1 round, 3-2. You know, so. But I do think Umar still has great chance to be bantamweight champion and rack up many title defenses. Moving on, my featherweight GOAT, Volk, bro. I really do have Volk as featherweight GOAT. I think just because his wins, beating Max Holloway 3 times, is better than any of Jose Aldo's wins. And like that stacks up. That's worth like 6 of Jose Aldo's title defenses, bro. Think about beating another like top 10 to 15 UFC fighter 3 times. Think about how crazy that is. I understand some people cry robbery in the second fight. Wasn't robbery. Max won 2 rounds because of the knockdown. Volk won the other 3. That's the way I scored it. 5 title defenses against really good competition. Ortega and Yair, not really. Chan Sung Jung, not really. But the Max Holloway fights carry the bulk of his title defenses. And outside of his title reign, beat Chad Mendes. That's a really good win, you know. So I think Volk is featherweight GOAT. On who can surpass him, like, there's not really, like, now that Topuria moved up, I just said Gene Silva. I don't know why he doesn't have a picture on the UFC website. Maybe this is a different Gene Silva, but actually it's the same Gene Silva. But I said Gene Silva. I just feel like I had to pick a prospect. None of those guys at the top. I guess Movsar if he stays undefeated, but I just don't see that happening. His fight style's too, like, iffy. You know what I'm saying? He loses the first round, wins the next two. It's like one of these guys is going to beat him. He's going to lose one of these fights by decision or something. So I picked Gene Silva just because he's on a tear, but that's not really a pick I'm very confident in. Moving on to lightweight, Islam Makhachev is lightweight GOAT. He's surpassed Khabib for sure. Beating Volk twice, beating Charles, beating Dustin Poirier, beat Dan Hooker, who's has a career resurgence, beat Bobby Green, not that good of a win. Drew Dober, not that good of a win. Moicano, good win, pretty solid win. People would glaze Moicano before this fight, and now that Islam beat him, it's like, bro, Moicano sucks. Islam's fighting featherweights, blah, blah, blah. Like, if Islam beats Topuria, I know people are going to be like, oh, he only fights featherweights. Khabib's still better, like, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not. Khabib is not lightweight GOAT anymore. Islam broke the title defense record, and I know I'm not I don't believe title defenses are solely indicative. I think Islam was lightweight GOAT before his title defense against Moicano. But on who I think can surpass Islam, no one currently in the UFC. I picked Usman Nurmagomedov. I think Usman is like the next generation of Dagestani. I get his wrestling's not as dominant as like a Khabib or an Islam, but the guy's striking is crazy. He's like a combination of Zabit with Islam's wrestling, except a little worse, you know. He's 26 years old, 19-0. The Paul Hughes fight was actually pretty close. I was surprised. I would like to see Paul Hughes and Usman enter the UFC. I think they're both very good prospects, very good fighters. But I do think Usman Nurmagomedov will be UFC champion soon. I think it's a matter of time. He's only 26 years old. He'll probably move to the UFC at like 27, 28. No, probably 28, 29. They'll give him I know the UFC will give him like a top 5 ranked opponent. If he moved over right now, I just know they'd give him like Max Holloway and just like try and fast track him to the belt. But that won't happen because Islam's still champion. So moving on, my welterweight GOAT, GSP. Can't really argue here. 9 title defenses, avenged all his losses, really good resume, double champ, beat Bisping for the second belt. Like Matt Hughes, just really good title wins. You can't really argue with GSP being welterweight GOAT. Not going to go into it too much. But who I could think can surpass him out of everyone active, I picked Shavkat. Because I think if Shavkat, this is my rationale. Do I think Shavkat's that good? No, I do think he's very overrated. But if he gets past Bilal, I don't really see any of these other guys at welterweight being able to beat him. Like, I don't see Leon Edwards having a shot. I don't see Joaquin Buckley having a shot. I don't see Ian Gary having a shot. I just don't see anyone at welterweight besides Bilal Muhammad who could pose problems for Shavkat. I think he would beat JDM pretty handedly. I don't know. I think that's the thing. The 170-pound division, all these guys are so close to each other, but I think Shavkat is just a step above everyone besides Bilal in the division. So that's why I think he has the best chance. Bilal's pretty old already. He's like 36, or I would pick him if Bilal was like 32, I would pick him, but he's just too old, you know. Moving on, my middleweight GOAT, no argument, Anderson Silva, 10 title defenses, crazy knockout wins, really good resume. PED usage, arguable, but, you know. Moving on to who I think can surpass him, I'm going to go with Khamzat Chimaev. I think if Khamzat wins his next 6 fights in a row, he's middleweight GOAT. Just listen to who he could fight in his next 6 fights. Okay, let's say beats Strikis for the belt in International Fight Week, July. Abu Dhabi returns fight. Actually, no. If Izzy beat Imavov, they would fast track him to the belt, but he lost. Abu Dhabi, Imavov versus Chimaev. Chimaev wins. That's a very good title defense. Imavov's look crazy. Next title defense, Caio Borralho. Very good defense. Then, okay, let's go through his resume just at that point. Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns, Dricus du Plessis, Robert Whittaker, Nasruddin Imavov, Caio Borralho. Those are all crazy wins. And then I think after that, like, Sean Strickland would fluke a title shot somehow. Sean Strickland. I just think Khamzat will retire as middleweight GOAT. I really do. And I think he will eventually get double champ status. I know that's not really part of the video, but I just had to put that out there. I'm a Khamzat glazer. So moving on, who's my light heavyweight GOAT? It's John Jones, unfortunately. Don't like the guy. You can't say he's not the greatest, one of the greatest fighters of all time, and the greatest light heavyweight of all time. For who's gonna surpass John Jones, we got Chris Dock. No, there's no one currently who even has a chance. Like Pereira, just literally, he's too old. Just lost to Ankalaev, and like even if he beat Ankalaev, there's no one else for him to fight at light heavyweight where it's like, wow, that's a good win that he hasn't already got. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fight Yuri third time, fight Carlos Ulberg. Like, there's no wins. I get John Jones's title defenses weren't that good, but let's say Pereira had beat Ankalaev and he got 3 more defenses at light heavyweight. Like, who's he gonna defend the belt against? Khalil Roundtree too, Ankalaev too. Like, bro, it's not like, and he lost too. I just think there's no one even close to surpassing John Jones's light heavyweight GOAT. Moving on to heavyweight, Stipe Miocic, no argument, only guy to defend the heavyweight title 4 times. People only remember him. People are kind of have a sour taste about him in his last 2 fights because he got knocked out by Ngannou and then 18 years later came back and got finished by Jones to the liver, spinning back kick to the liver. But I mean, you can't argue the guy's greatness. Insane wins. Come on. Who can surpass him? Tom Aspinall. Come on. Like, Tom Aspinall is just so good. The guy's cleared out like 7 out of the top 10 already, and he hasn't even become undisputed champion yet. Heavyweight is low-key kind of cooked. Like, even if we get the Jones fight, Aspinall fight, which I do think we will, the division's cooked. Like, I hope Jones, if he loses, says like, oh, I want an immediate rematch, or would he just retire? Because I hope he wants an immediate rematch, because we need time for this division to sort itself out, bro. We need the UFC to sign some prospects, because Aspinall's beat all these guys. Like, the only fights you can make that are intriguing with Aspinall are Aspinall Jones, obviously, then Aspinall Gone, and Aspinall versus Almeida. So, but I think Aspinall has the most potential to surpass Stipe. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please subscribe, like, drop a comment, spam my comments, get the algorithm going for me. I appreciate your guys' support. Thank you.